Wie siehst du aus? Ih, du stinkst.
Hi, my name is Natalie. Welcome to my vlog. And you can see me here the very first time in my beautiful office where we will be filming our vlogs in the future because I have moved in November. Nick and we've moved in together. We found this beautiful big apartment just in the outskirts of Berlin. We've almost unpacked all of our moving boxes and now I finally have some time to get back into the video game again and show you what I've planned for this year, because this year 2026 will be the year where I'll finalize a lot of the whips that I've accumulated in the past couple of years. So yeah, it's too many whips. I don't want to have these many whips anymore. It's stressing me out a little bit, so let's do that, right? I'm not even sure if I found all the whips yet because some boxes are not unpacked yet and we have prioritized to have everything that is going to be functional, like kitchen and other stuff first. We are almost done, but I'm pretty sure there are still some whips in some boxes that I haven't found yet. Maybe I will do a summarization once everything's unpacked. Anyway, I indeed do have a finished object to show you, which is very exciting. This is the If You're Out on the Road cowl out of the official Gilmore Girls knitting book that Nick gifted me for Valentine's Day 2 years ago. No. Not 2 years ago, the year before this year, like 2025. Is it so hard to say 2025? Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is knitted in Jamison's Shetland sheep wool. And if you have sensitive skin, this is not a wool for you because this is English rustic wool. Even though it's fingering, it is quite rustic. It can scratch a little bit on your skin. I'm not so sensitive, so this is completely fine for me. If you want to knit this, you can find any other fingering wool. Maybe Drops Flora is not so rustic, for example. And this is one of the very first colorwork cowls. I wanted almost said sweater. No, this is a cowl that I have finished. One of my very first colorwork projects that I have finished. And I'm very happy with how this turned out. It has these beautiful leaves, and for the color work it uses 5 different strands of colors of yarn, and the main color is, I think it's coffee. I think this color is called coffee. Exactly, this is coffee. And then for the other colors you have eucalyptus, you have majoran, amber, cocoa, and last but not least, you have yellow ochre. With changing the rows changing the color every 3 to 4 rows, you get this nice, wonderful effect that is on the leaves. With that being said, there is no good way to carry the colors because you have a very long stretch. If we look at the color eucalyptus, for example, you have eucalyptus here, and then the next time you use eucalyptus is here in the middle. You can't carry 5 strands of color for that amount of time without it affecting your knit. So what I did is I had a lot of ends that I've braided and I've woven in the ends in the end. And since this is such a rustic yarn, it is already felting here. And this is exactly what I want. With it felting, I don't have any risk of any ends slipping out, especially because the braid is so long, right? I was very generous with cutting off my ends. The braid is relatively long. Some ends only end, they start here and then end here somewhere, and they will felt within itself. Then I used the end of the main color to secure everything. And you don't really notice it. You don't really feel it while wearing it. At least to me, that was the best solution. Because, you know, if we just look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, I don't know, I will not count it right now, but I'm pretty sure you would have 40 ends to weave in. no thank you. I think the braiding option was the better one here. The only thing that I'm really a little bit sad about is because I've cast it on such a long time ago, February 2025, I wasn't that good at casting on. So the cast on is a little bit floppy. I've learned this will not happen to me again. I don't think it compromises this knit too awfully much, and who knows, maybe while wearing it, it will settle itself out. Who knows? I hope it does. We will see. But very happy with this one. The If You're Out on the Road cowl out of the official Gilmore Girls knitting book. You can buy it as a hardcover or as a Kindle. It's available pretty much anywhere you can buy books. The next thing that I want to show you is this back panel for a jacket. The pattern is out of the Lana Grossa magazine that comes out every, I think every month. I'm not too sure. But if you live in Germany, you can download a pattern once a week out of a wool place. It is the Lana Grossa website where they release their patterns from all of their from all of their magazines after some time. Yeah, Nick laughs because Appa just came here and is showing me a snowball. No, she's not showing it to me, she just dropped it. Yeah. If you see a pattern on Ravelry that is part of a Lana Grossa pattern, magazine pattern magazine, my goodness. If you see a Lana Grossa pattern on Ravelry and it came out of a magazine, chances are that after some time it will also be on woolplace.com, I believe, and you can download a pattern once a week for free. You will not knit that fast that you need more than that. Anyway, the cool merino that I'm knitting it out of is a chain knit wool, and it's really soft and really light. The pattern calls for another yarn, but I was stupid and didn't look right and ordered this cool merino, and luckily it is the right weight, because that would have been really sad. I had to buy, just to be sure that I have enough yarn, I had to buy 22 bolts of this yarn, and 22 bolts of any yarn are quite costly. Why do I need to use 22 bolts? Because this is half brioche, and half brioche uses a crazy amount of yarn. If you don't know what half brioche is, you can look it up. Google has beautiful images to show you exactly what it is. But basically, you're knitting one, then put the other stitch that you would purl on your other needle without purling it, do a yarn over, knit, put the purl stitch on your other needle, yarn over, and if you go back, you knit and purl as it comes. And that creates a very squishy, warm fabric that also uses a shit ton of yarn because of the yarn over that you don't knit. And using a lot of yarn is not the only thing, it also uses a shit ton of time. This is a slow project, even though it does not have cables or anything fancy. It's a back panel, 2 front panels because it's a jacket. Then you knit a button band and the collar, and then you're done, but it takes so much long time. It's not even a long jacket. I'm also almost afraid that it is too short because my boyfriend Nick is tall. He is 1.88 meters, like I think that's 6'2" in American terms. He needs length, and I'm almost afraid that it will be too short. Anyway, I'll block the shit out of this one so the length will be fine. It will be fine. It will be fine. Similar issue with Nick being a tall, thin man. Appa is lying on it. Thank you, Appa. Is this one. It's the Hello Tea. And it's a pattern that doesn't have a lot of projects on Ravelry. Actually, the only projects on Ravelry for this are mine, because I'm knitting this in dark turquoise for Nick in Drops Alpaca, and for myself I'm knitting it in Drops Baby Merino in red. There are quite some differences with the alpaca and the baby merino that I did not expect. There are some that I of course expected because it's a different fiber content, right? But with this, compared to the baby merino, the knitting structure is not as even as on the baby merino. I think it will block out, but it is uneven. Maybe you can see it. It is not a clear picture. The reason I think is because if you can see it, this yarn has a halo, and these strands of the halo are quite robust. They are actual alpaca hairs, and I think they snag onto the stitch before, the stitch after, above, underneath, and so it pulls on the stitches. And this is also the reason I think that it might block out. Maybe not fully, but when I pull on the stitches, not for all of them, but if I pull on the stitches, it becomes a clearer picture. We will see. The mistake that I made on this pattern is I started the ribbing according to pattern, which is way too early. When Nick tried it on, belly button was showing. And I was like, oh, I just need 5 centimeters more ribbing, try it on, and it was too much skin. This shirt showed too much skin on Nick. He's just bringing down all of his he's just bringing down all of his coffee mugs from his office. So yeah, hi.
No, I'm not obsessed at all.
No.
With radio stations and with coffee.
Huh.
Well, that one is TV. I don't care. Bye. I don't care.
I don't care. He doesn't care. Look at all of my mugs that I don't care about. Anyway, he drinks a lot of coffee. I don't drink any coffee at all, so I think our statistics for this household might be okay. So, that was Nick. That's the shirt I'm knitting for him. It was way too short. Now I'm knitting it longer. I had to rip a lot of centimeters back because this is where I picked the stitches back up, and I think I already had like this much ribbing, and it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. And it wasn't as complicated as I feared it would. Because picking up the stitches on stockinette is easy. You just pull every other leg on your needle. And then you rip back, and it was fine. I was scared though, but it was fine. Another thing that I noticed, this is not the first pattern that I noticed this, but the ribbing, according to pattern, is knit in the same needle size as the stockinette section. And what the ribbing does, you can see it here. It wants to fold in on itself. And the reason for that is ribbing naturally uses a lot more yarn than stockinette. So we have much more fabric in the ribbing than in the stockinette. And that is usually the reason why you go down at least 1 needle size when you do the ribbing. There is apparently a way to prevent this even when you're knitting the ribbing in the same size. Before you start your ribbing, you knit one, and then pull the next stitch to the other needle, knit one, pull the next stitch to the other needle, so that you have some friction in here that causes the ribbing to not fold in over itself. Maybe I can block it out. If it doesn't, maybe I will put some elastic bands in the ribbing. We will see. I have some ideas. I will be able to fix this. The same thing happens here at the back of the collar. You can see how it wants to flip over. I will also try to block this out. We will see. We will see. Maybe it will help. Who knows? These are the 2 whips that I want to work on for now. There is a secret project that we are working on in our knitting group that I cannot show you yet, but I will be able to show pictures in the future, I think. It's a collaborative work, so we will see how it turns out. Anyway, this is it for today. I do actually have some more whips planned, but I will not start them until I have brought down the number of whips because I have too many whips. Anyway, I hope to see you on my next vlog. I do have some scenes from the past couple of days that I did that you might enjoy. For example, Appa being in the forest with, with this little guy. Girl, she is a girl. You know, you can use guy without using any gender in a lot of cases, I believe. Anyway, this is Appa. She is my lovely girl. She is cuddly and a little sleepy right now. And she didn't want to be picked up, but I had to show her to you. Anyway, she will settle down in a few moments anyway. And we were in the forest. We have a beautiful forest close by. She made herself so dirty. She got herself so dirty. She was stinky. We had to shower her. She did not like it. And now you will see a little bit of a compilation of my past couple of days. I hope you enjoyed this vlog and the projects that I'm working on. I will give you an update on the next vlog, and I hope to see you again. Bye!
So this isn't actually Premier brand, but I know Premier sells at Universal. So this is a 75%.
This is just so perfect. How Appa is lying here just now, because this yarn is sticking a little bit to itself. I can just pull on it, and Appa is holding it perfectly in place. Thank you, Appa.
Counter-inclusion has suffered serious damage in the hands of Tombstone. And look at that, the vertical wheels, they have stopped spinning already.
Wie siehst du aus? Wie siehst du aus? Oh Gott, Appa. Wie siehst du aus? Ih, du stinkst. Hey. Denkst du machst das gerade besser? Wie man sehen kann, geht's Appa gut.